If you hear the rain, or if you hear anything, that is what that is. I hope you guys are doing good. It is Tuesday. Tuesday, and welcome back. Some of you guys are actually just tuning in for the first time. That is all good. What's going on? But we're gonna get into some things tonight. If you guys are brand new here, uh, no worries. Welcome. Tuesdays gives us an opportunity to talk about some things that most people won't go about talking to you about. And it's a consideration for one, where you are today, which is probably in the United States. Whereas the second thing is, what happens when you leave? Do you know? Have you ever even thought about what could happen if you leave? Is it an opportunity where you could see life from a different perspective? Or is it too scary to even take your hand off of home base? Is it giving you guys anxiety just thinking about it? But let me pose the question back on you. Is living in America giving you anxiety just living in America? Obviously, you're the only one that can answer that question, but the thought process and trying to get a better understanding of, are you guys okay? Serious question. You guys okay? When's the last time somebody asked that to you and actually meant it? So many things that you guys have gotten used to in America, and then so many things are consistently unfolding. I've got the news on to the right of me, and it's interesting. It's interesting for certain. So many people are looking at what's going on right now in America, and I get messages, and they're like, "Hey, I may need to possibly leave sooner than I thought I was going to." And you may think you are the only one that is in a position to do so, but that's not the case. So many people in the United States are walking around with faces and acting as if everything is okay, knowing that one hiccup, one bump in the road, that could be some places devastation, some places the difference between having enough to pay for rent, food, electricity, basic utilities, things that you need to do America. How many of you guys are starting to feel ends meeting? Not they're like getting further away from consistently meeting. Like, whew, I'm glad my car is okay, because if I had to pay for a car note, and this is what so many Americans are facing, and we get into this thing in America where, and it's not just America, I'll be honest with you, because the advance of the internet allows for things like this. You to be able to see somebody else's life and what it is that they show you, what they're willing to talk to you about. However, you may be in a scenario where all you see is abundance. All you see is luxury. And of the places that you may look at, like Colombia, if you guys don't know, my name is RJ. I live out here in Medellin, Colombia. I am an expat. I am an immigrant. Whatever it is that you want to call it. I left America because I was done. I've been going for 2 years. However, I've been coming to Colombia probably since 2017. Been bringing people. I'm actually a travel agent, so I do group travel, but that is not why we're here. I'm just giving you some background in case this is the first time you happen to come onto this platform. But this platform is designed to have the conversations that no one is willing to have with you. Give vulnerability in a way where it is that you're going to go through some of the things that I am going to be able to highlight for you. Because so many of you guys aren't in a scenario where you remember, because they keep you busy enough. They keep you busy enough in the United States to have forgotten. You guys remember the movie Hook? And you remember when Robin Williams forgot who he was? He forgot he was Peter Pan. He had gone to a place where, he had to be somebody and to do some things. And he was in a position of, capitalism. Even though I think they were, abroad in the United Kingdom, capitalism. And so many of you guys are in that exact same scenario. You've actually forgotten who you are. You've forgotten what makes you a human. Makes you a human is feeling things. So we always start Tuesdays off with one asking you, are you okay? And so many might say, well, why do you do that? Because are you okay? There's so many things swirling around your head right now, like right now, that you have to deal with. My boy said, man, yeah, he's doing all this stuff, but it's got to go to the court, and it's got to go through this, and it's never going to pass the Supreme Court and Congress. And I said all of this stuff, right? I said, that's fine. That's dandy. But how many of you guys are actually starting to get used to things that should give you pause? Never mind them sticking, but how much things can people throw at you where it's designed to desensitize you from feeling some sort of reaction? Oh, you say, well, that's not going to happen. I'm always going to feel some sort of reaction to that. Are you? We talked yesterday about, some of the things and the reasons why I left. The first three things are the most triggering things because so many of you are in these exact same scenarios. The American dream at one point looked like a husband, a wife, two kids, a dog, a white picket fence, and a house. The husband would go to work, and the wife would stay at home and take care of the kids and make the house into a home. And that was the American dream. Now, the good thing is women didn't end up in a situation where they're only confided to the home. But at one point in America, you could go to work and cover all of those just other people with one salary. And I'm not talking about some exorbitant salary. You could work at the mill. You could work at a place. You could be the local pharmacist, or you could, work at the grocery store. But they were giving you enough based off of you going to work for somebody to at least afford the basic things. Now we're seeing so many people in situations where they're having to work 40 hours at one job, 35 plus hours at another job, just to be able to still have not a lot of anything. And I don't mean stuff and things. Do you remember what they told you when you went to, you grew up and you said, oh, you're going to go to college and you're going to get a job that is going to pay you enough. It's going to pay you enough so that you could go pay off the student loan you might have borrowed. These were all things that so many of us were given. Told y'all the American dream is a sell. It's a sell. It's something that they sold us to make us feel comfortable while they continued to muck up the things that were going to be in the future. And the future is now. When you were 15, things were going to be, when you got to 35 and 30 years old, things were going to be a certain way, as long as you fit into the program. So when we consider what your mental health is, we got to make sure that you realize that your mental health is under attack, even if you feel fine, because you are actually getting into a scenario where you are becoming desensitized with what is going on. Now, a lot of you aren't ready to wake up. a lot of you are starting to stir. And you're like, that little time before you actually wake up, you're kind of awake, but your eyes aren't open. You remember, that feeling? That's where a lot of you are right now. However, you ever been in that state and then somebody start making a bunch of noise wherever it is that you may be? Maybe it's outside, maybe it's in your house, maybe it's in your room. But you guys know what I'm talking about. And I say that is because that is what's going on if you are starting to wake up, because you're turning on the news and you may not even be turning on the news. The news might be coming right to your doorstep. You might be walking down the street, might go to the barbershop, you might go to the grocery store and you see your friend and he's like, hey, did you hear? Did you hear what they did today? So many people I talk to, they're saying, I don't really watch the news and TV like that anymore. And I'm not on the internet like that. I get it. It's a lot. It's a lot. And you aren't desensitized to it. There are plenty of things you are, but you're like, I can't. It's overwhelming. So I say, we start tonight off with, are you guys okay? Are you guys all right? Because they've given you so much of, no, you're fine. Just keep going. Just keep working. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other into the machine that is going nowhere. The American rat race is one of the things that most of you guys, some of you know you're in it and don't have any way to escape or don't know how to escape. But some of you don't know that you are in a maze that actually leads nowhere. Yet you've seen so many of your ancestors, so many of your grandparents, your parents, these people that were ahead of you, they did what they were supposed to do. Some of them have gotten it, but so many people in America are actually, the internet is such a bad place for you guys because you think that so many of Americans are doing great. We're living in America. We live in the best country in the world. Look how many people are doing great. People have their businesses. People are thriving, right? It's not the case. That's not the case. I give you guys, and maybe you're new here and maybe you're not, but I give you guys this because one of the things that you have to understand is the numbers aren't in favor of all of us Americans are doing okay. If 52% of Americans can't read past the 6th grade reading level, what kind of opportunities do they have? Now, I tell my friends because I always say, I was able to do something with the opportunities and to make something. I didn't grow up in a family full of stuff and things. That wasn't what I was positioned with as far as value. But I say that is because so many of you guys will say, well, you look at you. You made it. You did it. But when you put a position of 1,000 people in the room and majority of said people aren't in a position to have a paying job, because you have to realize the United States still says this is the federal minimum wage. The minimum wage used to be a minimum wage where you could afford a house. So many people in the United States are not in a scenario where they can afford a house because they can't read past a certain level. So when you guys get into what you may be going through, you guys get frustrated when you go outside and you're dealing with some jerk, somebody that is getting on your nerves, going against the status quo or going against the grain. He probably can't even position himself in a better position what he is because America, am I right? Never mind them not paying anybody the price of $100 a bag, you being able to spend $100 a bag of groceries, but that's what they cost. You guys are getting into a scenario where you're desensitized with things that should probably say, hold on. Do you remember when? So some things they do gradually. I remember when gas went to, I think it was $3, almost $4 a gallon in some places. And people are like, how will we ever get to work if gas is $3 to $4 a gallon? And do you remember when that was? And let me ask you, how much of a raise, if you've been at the exact same job since that first time, how much of a raise did they give you to combat $100 bag of groceries? You can't even go to the movie and see Spider-Man in 3D without it costing almost $100 to take you, your wife, 2 children, popcorn. What did Quinta say? Large. This is real life. And you guys are living it in a situation where you're squeezing out just a little bit of happiness and calling it living life. Well, once a year I get to go to the lake house. First of all, if you have a lake house, this might not be the place for you. Somebody not talking to you. But once a year, you get to go for 5 days, 5 days, 4 nights, Thursday to Monday, to a place of some sort of vacation. Whatever that looks like. Maybe it's in the United States, maybe it's overseas, maybe it's down the street. So many Americans haven't even left their city, let alone their state. You guys forget. America has positioned us to forget about what it is that makes us human. Community. The person next to you. Yes, you need to take care of your family and, take care of the people in your household. But America is right now in a position where even with immigration and all of these things that are going on, people are looking past people that are actually living next to them. Because it's like, well, that's on them. Let me ask you, when they're gone, since you don't care, who are they going to focus on? You think it all stops then? Everything sets and resets back to how it's supposed to be? The term that the president of the United States is using is making America great again. Well, I did go to college and, didn't get the cushy job that it was supposed to get, but I did learn the word again. And again means to do it once more, or maybe even multiple times. But it had to have happened to have done it again. MAGA is the first inaugural, if you guys don't know, which means this is the first one, and hopefully we can do it again. That the first inaugural means that we have never done this, but have crossed our fingers to hope that we can do this again for the second year or the third year and after that. Because maybe America was great at some point for some people. However, in 2025, if you take away color, economics, anything, just bare numbers, it's 100% of Americans in America, and 52% can't read past Goosebumps. And you guys are doing okay. Half the problems that you deal with outside is because people are undereducated, overworked. That may be you as well. But consider that. I was talking to my little homie today. She was telling me, like, people are just mean. You're just mean here. You be nice to somebody, they say, "Oh, you all up, you trying to be like me." I'm from Philly. They say you being Joe. Y'all might say, "Who's Joe?" Joe is a guy that want to be like everybody else. You being Joe. Don't be Joe. However, so many people are in the United States. When I go back home and go back to even to the United States, I go back home to Philadelphia. I go back to South Florida where I moved from. And I'm like smiling at people and saying, "Hey, how are you? Do I know you?" Is that the life that you consider quality for the next 30 to 40 years? Because that is where so many of you are. You go outside, nobody wants to talk to you. You don't want to talk to people, and people don't want to talk to you. So many of you guys have convinced yourself that you are actually introverted because America ain't got nothing for you to be extroverted about. What if Where you woke up ain't the best place for you. I tell people all the time, you get two families in this life, the family you woke up with and the family you choose. Now, you're going to get some of those first family, they're going to come with you. They're going to be part of that second family. But you're going to get some friends. You're going to meet some people in your life that's going to change your life. They're going to hold you down. They're going to be better than people that is that you woke up here with. The opportunity to craft your little bit of life, the little bit that you get, and consider maybe where you woke up ain't the best place for you. If you guys want to not care about your fellow man and everything else, and you're only concerned about yourself, why aren't you doing anything for yourself? I'm doing my best to give you something that makes you go, maybe one or half of one of the things that I said gave you some thought. Maybe it said, I do remember when I didn't fear going outside and being a part of a mass incident. What if I didn't have to do that? What would life be like then for me? Maybe if you had the opportunity to do some of your hobbies, remember the hobby that you had when you were a kid, because you probably grew up and had to stop. Maybe you had it at a time, but you can't do it anymore because work and everything that you do. By the time you get off of work and you fight traffic, got to get up early. You still want to go out and see things. Like, do you remember when you were able to do those things the way you wanted to? What if I told you you could? What if I told you that what they selling you in a place that you just grew up in, you just opened your eyes and you were there? What if you could actually go do those things? So many of you guys are, if you're in California, maybe you're in California right now, right? And you guys love hiking. What if you could go hike more? You don't have to be at work all the time. I'm from Philadelphia. So many guys were like, man, I can't wait till the spring break. Summer, it's going to be nice. I'm going to get outside. I'm going to see so much. But what if it was always nice outside and you had the time? What about that? So many of you guys are scared to do the what if. And people around you, they're going to give you this. And I'll be honest with you. They're going to give you, why would you move abroad? Why would you leave America? So many of those people haven't gone anywhere, and most of them haven't gone off the resort, because people that have actually traveled, gone and been a part of the cultures of the countries, there's so much developed places that you guys don't even think that are actually thriving without you and your perception. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine Colombia being a place that doesn't look anything like? So my folks came from West Philly, and it was their first time in Colombia. And they literally said to me, I knew that you wouldn't go move from Philly, knowing where you're from, and going to go live in the hood. I knew that. But I didn't think Colombia looked like this. I don't want to go back to West knowing what Colombia looks like. And you said, how much it costs? And you're able to do. But you don't get, see, these conversations, maybe 2, 3 you guys watch it live. Maybe a couple hundred people watch it over the situation. But somebody, one of you guys, maybe a couple of you, y'all gonna sit here and be like, nobody is telling me this. Nobody is addressing me where I am right now, on my couch, on my phone, watching this, wherever it is. Nobody's addressing me and saying, are you sure that what they have you programmed to do every day is what your life is supposed to be like? And let's back it up. Let's have a conversation. See, this isn't for your entertainment. This is to prepare you. This is to prepare you, because you got to be woken up before you can even see anything that is a new tomorrow. I swear to you, it's like living as a caterpillar all your life and having the opportunity to live as a butterfly. Now, these places are not some Narnia where you're going to go and everything is perfect. That is not where we are today or will ever be, telling you that somewhere else is perfect. However, I will always tell you that you need to find the best place suited for you. And when you go there, make certain that you know what you are giving up, because you need to know what you are no longer wanting in your life. And you need to know what you're looking for. Because the moment that you do those two exploration stages, you are going to be in a scenario where you're saying to yourself, I know what I left. I know what I'm looking for. I know what I'm no longer willing to tolerate with respect to my life, what I'm willing to be a part of, what I'm willing to put value on. These things are designed to give you that. You got to have long conversations and deeper conversations to be able to say these things with certainty. See, you guys don't go to therapy. I won't tell nobody. Now, this ain't therapy. I am not a licensed therapist. I am none of the sort. However, so many of you guys haven't been genuinely asked, are you okay? So before I go into what your life will be like when you move abroad, and that's maybe some of the reasons why you might be even watching this, I need to meet you where you are today. And understanding that you probably just got off of work, took your belt off, took your shoes off, took your bra off, whatever it is that makes you feel comfortable and in your house, cracked open a beer, cracked open a cranberry juice, whatever it was. I used to know when I was off of work. I used to know when I was off of work because I used to have this particular thing. I would be like, all right, taking off my shoes, work outfit, put on my I'm in the house outfit. But so many of you guys are selling yourself short on that life and that life alone. You could spend the next 40 years, if you could consider where you are today and consider spending the next 40 years, if you're lucky. If you're 30 years old, 40 years, you make it to 70. So many people are dying way before 70. If you make it to 70, do you feel like you would be accomplished with doing what you're doing with yourself? Never mind anybody else, just with yourself. What could you possibly be doing if you had more life to do it with? Less time in traffic, less time at work, more time with friends and family, pouring into who you actually are. You aren't, hi, my name is RJ. Nice to meet you. You're not that. You're, hey, this is telemarketing and I'm calling because of this. That's not you. But you could spend the rest of your life spending 40 hours a week just to go fight traffic, to go spend another 20 hours a week at another job, just to be able to say, hey, I have a house, not in a place where they're going to rob me by the time I come home. How about that? Now, I bring you to a situation where you need to know where it is that you are. Hopefully, you realize you may be in a place right now where you are a little fed up. Welcome. That is the crossroads. However, what I will tell you is this. You are probably, if you are at this fed up point, not in a scenario where you are experiencing your American privilege in America. Aha. You didn't think you had any. Somebody always said, you guys have American privilege in America. What privilege do I have being broke as hell, overworked, underpaid, eating food that could possibly shorten the amount of time that I have on earth, but it's the only thing I can afford? What privilege? Oh, yes. Now we get into the other side of the coin, that you can't begin to look at because you don't know. I saw this today. My cousin Moose sent this to me. He said, we got to bring this in. Got to bring this into some of these conversations and things that we're putting out. A fish doesn't know that he lives in water until he leaves. And so many of you are like a fish, assuming that you can't live and fish can't. But like you get out of water and you're like, oh, I need to go back to America. That's my home base. What if you could thrive in another environment? You don't know that you live in a snow globe. It looks so pretty. So many people. I saw somebody today. He told me, I want to go to America. Little man said to me, my premier, I want to go to America. That's what he said to me. And I said, do you know that American groceries are $100 a bag of groceries? He said, really? So you don't know that. I asked him, I asked the people on the internet, how much are groceries where you live at? Philadelphia, somebody said $8. I said, do you know that groceries are $8 a bag? You said, y'all would have been proud of me. I was in there using all my good Spanish. I was doing my job, doing what I could. And he said, excuse me? Yes, sir. Inside the snow globe, everybody's in there. Looks like they're having a great time, spending their money, throwing money around, wearing big chains and jewelry, buying expensive cars. Y'all in the club doing all this stuff, spending $500 on a bottle, $2,000 on a section, everybody on their phone, showing the people that ain't there what it is that they doing that it is there, and they ain't even enjoying the place that they sitting at this very moment right now. Some of y'all might be in a scenario right now. You got a headphone in and it's Tuesday, but some of y'all are crazy enough to be out right now in a place at a strip club and be like, what they talking about on the internet? Dude might be right. Somebody might be sitting there and the wings just came out and they're like, I caught you. I caught you trying to find a balance in where your happiness lies in America. And then you don't realize that when you get out, you tend to take that stuff with you. I've seen videos of videos and news articles here in Colombia about African-American expats throwing money in the streets of Cartagena. Are you okay? That's why we started this conversation off with, are you okay? Because you don't want to be known by money. Some of you guys come out here, the passport bros, you guys come out here and say, women, they only want me for my money in the United States. So I'm going to find a good out of the country woman and she won't want me for my money. And then come down here and be like, you guys want to see what I got? You guys want to see how much I got? Because you guys don't realize that you don't have an exercise of American privilege until you come. So anybody that's watching this, especially all my locals, my local Colombians, I always want to point those out because I know a lot of people watch this and depending on where you are, we're on probably 6 different platforms at one time. However, I will tell you, you want these conversations because these people are coming. Americans are coming to Colombia. We can't stop them. I can't stop them. If I said, hey, you guys don't come, nobody's going to listen to me. They're going to go to somewhere else. Hopefully somebody is listening to me that is actively listening and looking to be a part of something because that is what you have to be a part of when you move out abroad. You cannot take America with you anywhere. I was in Mexico and I met so many Canadians and they were like, I'm from France, but I live in Montreal. I live in Quebec. And I said, well, what would make a French person move from France to Montreal, Quebec? Because it's relatively colder there. And what they said to me was, well, it's a French province. So many people speak French there. It's almost like being in France. I can travel there with no visa. It's perfectly fine. And I'm like, okay, I got you. So America's got what is like USVI, Guam, Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico is Puerto Rico. That's just some political things. But I say that is because most places you can't take America with you. It's not set up for like America. Yes, please come here with all your values and all of your positions on, you know, politics, culture, people. We want this. We embrace this. That's not the case. Nobody cares about you being an American. Most of the time, they will assume things about you that may not fit you, but might. And you might not even know it. You might be in a scenario where you say, what is he talking about? That where my body, you guys have, you know, you go to job, you go to work, you have to spend money on clothes. A lot of people buy designer, Louis Vuitton. This is my Dior bag. This is my Amiris, my Chrome Hearts. This is whatever it is that y'all wearing. You guys know. Nobody cares. Now, don't get me wrong. You will see people in the overseas, Colombia and other places with a bunch of stuff and things. But that shouldn't be your personality. You guys know those guys, they lame dudes with money. They like, hey guys, what's going on? You guys want to buy some bottles? And you know, you see my ice? I got all the cool stuff on, right? Yeah, but you still lame. That's how a lot of Americans come abroad and come off as the lame person with money and don't even know it. Because so many of you are just, oh man, you know, I can't go spend $2,000 in a club on bottle service, but shoot, it's $300. I could spend $500, get $200 in ones. Oh, the 2,000 peso, the 2 mil peso here, that's 50 cents. I'm throwing them things like it's nothing. Who are you? No, seriously. Not even who do you think you are, but who are you? Is that who you are? Yet America, when given the opportunity, has said, this is what you should be doing. It's cheaper. You can now live life like you've always wanted to live it. Yet so many of the people on the daggone internet and the TV are coming out of rehab, going into rehab. You know why? Because they're not okay. They've got all the things that you covet, yet they're not okay. Yet you are trading everything in your life to get that. And then when you go abroad, that's who you become. You become who it is that you always wanted to be. This is my opportunity to throw money in the club. This is my opportunity to go and flaunt my wealth because I make American dollars. So the other side of you moving abroad, you leaving what it is, and I'm telling you, you need to wake up in America about, you need to get right with yourself. Because y'all are embarrassing me, and not just me, us people that live abroad. And hey, what's going on? Like, amigo, you know me. You know me. You know I am not like that. However, they want to know because they're like, hey, you know, I can ask you. And I'm like, don't ask me, because I keep telling them I am on the internet telling these people not to come being the American conquistador. You guys could be a colonizer so quickly. Y'all will scream, they not like us in the United States, and be exactly like them. The moment you get on the other side of your passport gets stamped, and you be like, I'm them. So these conversations are preparations. We give you the knowledge. We give you all the things that you need, the steps that you need to take. We give you the access to the people and the community that you need to be a part of. But there's some things I cannot do for you. There's some things that you need to do for yourself. One, you need to determine, where's your life value? Is your life value in the next 30, 40 years on the stuff and things that America keeps telling you is going to make you happy, that you keep getting and keep leading you to places just like this, keep leading you to want to keep the TV off, limit your internet usage, limit conversations about daily life and what's going on? Seriously. That's what y'all got to realize. I already know. I've been going for 2 years. Y'all are at the crossroads. It's so many of you guys because everybody got it at the same time. My crossroads in my household came in the household. It wasn't like, oh, I needed for the world to F up for me to say, now the world is effing up. What you gonna do? And when you get here, who you gonna be? Don't come over here expecting America where you go. Because this ain't it. America is not here. America ain't there. America ain't nowhere. You may not come to Colombia. You might go to Peru, Ecuador, Belize, Mexico. You might go to any of these places, but you are not going to find the United States there. And if you go there with the expectation that you're going to be everything that you couldn't be because it costs cheaper there, then you might as well just stay right where you are and be just like them and keep getting exactly what it is that you've been getting. I told y'all on the ground right now. Y'all are all caterpillars. America leads you to a caterpillar lifestyle. And in the caterpillar community, the caterpillars are kings. Caterpillars don't even got no necks to be really getting too far up, and they probably can't see as high as a butterfly may be able to go. I say that is because all of this is a transformational experience from you being in the United States, you being indoctrinated to everything that America told you was reality, and then you deciding, okay, this ain't gonna work. Maybe there's other opportunity, but please don't come over here expecting America. And I mean over here, over there, over anywhere. You leave America, leave it. That's why I said, know what you're leaving, write it down. Know what you're looking for, write that down too. You too old to be keeping all this in your head. You're way too old. You're way too overworked. You're way too underpaid. You're way too mentally stressed. Nah, I'm not talking about no diagnosis. I'm just talking about mental health as a human being. Your job on this earth wasn't to have a job and work, to buy things. Hundreds of years ago, before greenbacks and silver dollars and quarters, they had gold doubloons. Now, if you had some gold doubloons right now, you'd probably be like a lot more up than if you had a bunch of dollars. Be honest with you. But they will change the currency on you, and you won't have it all yet. So why are you going to kill yourself trying to get it all? Take care of your family, get what you need, but don't put the value of the people in your community, of the people when you go outside and you see them. Care about them. Care about them. Because if things hit the fan and we need to saddle up, you're going to need to band together with your friends and your neighbors and get together and say, hey, I got y'all. We got us. It's not going to be, this just my house, because that's not what you're going to want. Things are shaping up very interesting. They had to completely continue to ask, who is in charge of Doge? Now, mind you, we already know Doge, the fact that that's even a thing. You know, the Department of Government Efficiency that is also a cryptocurrency. I mean, that's the quiet part all the way out loud. But never mind that part. Who was in charge? Well, you know, this random lady that they put on there to look like Miss Trunchbull if she was nice. That's who's in charge of Doge. Mind you, they kept replaying multiple scenarios of Trumpito. Well, I went and put Elon Musk in charge of. Come on now. They're doing this stuff to desensitize you from having a reaction. It's all silly. It's all things that won't get passed until when it does. What then? It's so many opportunities to do one thing. I will say, take whatever it is that America gave you. Because I know you don't know that America gave you a bunch of stuff. But take it ability. You want to take American dollars? Take that. Go somewhere else. That's my best recommendation. Not everybody can go, I know. But that's my best recommendation. Because that place, that's why I ask y'all, are y'all okay? Because I watched this and I am concerned. Concerned for my friends, concerned for my family. I see so many people. They said they're going to start firing more people in the federal government very, very soon. Marjorie Taylor Greene was like, government workers don't deserve a paycheck. She actually said that out of her mouth. It wasn't like a quote. And she actually said that out of her mouth. And I don't even understand what that means because we have seen so many politicians in the United States get money and get way more money than us. It's like becoming a politician. I care so much about the people. That's how I made so much money because I care so much. Yet the people are struggling. You may be in a position of struggling. Can't do your hobbies. Can't spend time with your family, your friends. Can't even host a cookout. One, is cold. Two, costs too damn much. How about that? How about the opportunity to change that, though? That's why we're here tonight, and that's why we're here every night, Monday to Friday. Try to give you what it is that we can to not only tell you what it is you can do, steps that you can take, but let's talk about some things that most people won't address with you. No, you don't have to go to therapy. You might not want to. You should, but you might not want to. However, somebody genuinely asking you, are you okay? Making you remember what you got comfortable with, and that maybe that is what is bothering you. Give you the opportunity to maybe do something about it. Hopefully. Tomorrow, we talk about the 6 steps. Now, these steps are not isolated to Colombia. These steps are actually for anybody looking to move abroad. There's 6 steps that you need to go through. You actually need to go through 6 particular things that are ideally designed to increase the probability of your success moving abroad. Anybody that tells you they can guarantee anything, they're a liar. Tomorrow, I might get on here and I might have a full head of hair. I don't know. The probability is extremely low. I can't guarantee it. I say that is because this conversation is about increasing the probability of you having success moving abroad. So we're going to go through 6 individual steps that you are going to need to take. The good thing is this. You guys can go to moodtravelcolumbia.com. That's 2 O's in mood, 2 O's in Colombia. moodtravelcolumbia.com. Go there. The 6 steps are there. Go to how to move to Colombia. They're right there. Get them figured out. I don't gatekeep this information because this information is necessary. I do my best to educate a community that is interested already in coming abroad, but they might not know how. They might not know the spirit and the nature that they need to go about moving abroad. Because when you have never experienced your privilege, you may exercise it in a way where you come off in a completely different way than you want. However, if you don't know, this is the opportunity to find out. It's to find out, it's to give you these real conversations behind the move abroad process. It's to do what most people won't, which is tell you that you are going on a journey, but the journey is one of the most beautiful experiences you're going to have of your adult life. And it may change the trajectory of not only your life, but your entire family. I appreciate you guys definitely for tuning in. I will be back in the 6:30, 7 o'clock hour tomorrow. Just make certain you are on here. If you are not watching on YouTube, please go to Black Expat Life in Colombia. That is where you will see this conversation. I'm on here live right now, but all of the conversations that we have had in the past, please, I love it. I always get these messages. Oh, you got these thousands of hours of views. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it because I do it for the people that need to watch a couple of hours of some conversations with some real information, some real thoughts and things that can help you prepare yourself mentally before you go and step into somebody else's country, thinking that some random guy on TikTok that gave you 1 minute of microwaved information really had your best interest at heart. I want you guys to come, enjoy yourselves, wherever it is that you journey to, and make certain that you are doing it within the spirit of understanding, understanding, inspiration, and education, because those are the things you're going to need to be successful. You're going to need to be inspired to want to learn a new language, be a part of a new culture. You're going to need to educate yourself on what that new language, that new culture, the people are, even the time. And I don't mean on your watch, I mean the time people want to move on. Nobody is moving as fast as America. Maybe it's your time to find out. We will see. You will see. Maybe I'll see you over here when you get here. Until then, and until tomorrow, I will see you